and there's four of us.
We're recording in progress. We got Karlos LaSane. Well, he's in his kitchen. It looks like he's drinking already on a day off at 1:03 p.m. This is a cool one. We're going to introduce Karlos. We want to apologize for any kind of noise that's going on here at Something Came from Baltimore. They are, I don't know, they're drilling the wall of this building right now, and they're putting a new rain spout in, and they didn't confer with me that it was okay during my interview, but we're going to do this. It's going to go up live. That's what we're doing now. So this is nothing cut. It just goes right on.
Yeah, I like it that way. The way it's more natural. Yeah, exactly.
So we got Karlos LaSane. He is a people person. You'll find out from his conversation. That's what he does. Like his, your relationship with interacting with people is basically what you've been doing in your whole adult career.
Yeah, man, this is embarking on year 21, finishing up year 21, going into 22. Started out in the casino industry in 2000 at Claridge in Atlantic City, and been in two major markets my whole life, between Philadelphia and Atlantic City. And this is my first casino I've opened up. With that being said, through all the years, walking to work, on break, everything's been about music. I never watch shows. It's always either a podcast for the last probably 4 years, which I lean more on now because I cut off cable. I don't say my family and I cut off cable like 8 years ago and started to stream. And with that comes along, you start to delve into more like, what's out there, basically what's free. And the podcast zone gave you your news, gave you your weather, gave you your updates on what's going on in music, people's opinion, people that are within the industry that have their opinion on music. And I have loved music since the day I was born. I mean, I give credit to my mother and father. My mother on Sundays, who used to play her music and her Portuguese music and her jazz, and my father, who ran nightclubs, and everything was really in our family was centered around music. My father played bass. My mother comes just from, a lot of the heritage is based on music and, her legends and greats, and like songs like Más Que Nada by, trying to think of the artist's name. I probably rang a bell when I just said the title of it. People like Hector Lavoe, it's things like that. Just having a mixed background. My father was definitely based in jazz, funk. His music that he would listen to on record, that his father, my grandfather, who just turned 89 today. My grandfather's 89 today, September 14th. Who would say when he would play James Brown, like, what is that? When my father would play James Brown, my grandfather would be like, what is that? That's not music. So it was like the revolution. And then when I would play, trying to think the DMXs of the world and things like that, my father was tapped into hip hop, but not as much. He was more early 90s hip hop than when I came along with hip hop. And really, I listened to it, but I really started to appreciate it, I think, when I was around the age of 12 and 14, where I really started to digest and it became a part of my life. So music to this day is a part of my life.
Yeah. We're going to go over your favorite songs. So these are the songs.
And that's only, and Tom, that's only like probably 5% of what's up here.
Sure. But what we're going to talk about the correlation of like they were kind of in the early 2000s to present. They all
yeah. I dated myself. I'm sure I dated myself.
That's okay. The songs that connect with you are something that you grow with, and they never leave you as a child, and they morph into something completely different. I mean, it's cool. I'm a Daisy Age rapper. I kind of got off rap around De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest. They're my heyday.
Well, that's like kind of the best era, so that's okay if you left off there.
Yeah. What you got was the thinking man's next step. A lot of your artists are very creative with their music styles, and
I'm your evolution, and there's somebody younger than me that's another evolution, and there's a younger guy alone that's another evolution, and then there's stuff that my son is listening to that's his evolution. So as long as we tap into those young cats and people like you're not that much older than me, but and we all merge and talk about it, we can learn from each other, and appreciate, say all that stuff that that the young boys think is corny, they can learn something from, and vice versa.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the songs. These songs are available on a Spotify link that's gonna be in the show notes. And there is an amazing Black Thought doing a freestyle for 10 minutes that will blow your mind away. So that's a
Yeah,
YouTube.
you had a chance to listen? You had a chance to listen?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it basically it solidifies him as someone who's
That should be the precipice of where lyrical hip hop should go. I mean, I don't think anybody has ever touched that. I think within the hip hop community, that is seen as kind of like your A1 go-to of where you want to know when it comes to lyricism. Rap and hip hop is based in what he did there. What he did there, it is something that should be put in a museum, a living museum, something that you can go to and sit to and put a pair of headphones on and just be absolutely floored. In one take to do that live, I mean, and the guy breaks a full-on sweat towards the end. I mean, that's a skill. That's a skill.
We're gonna put that link on
sure.
and totally recommend people check that out because
you gotta let some of it rock though, Tom. You gotta let some of it rock. This podcast has to be lit. I want to take this to the next level.
All right,
because we're gonna give them something energy, something to feel, something to build off of.
All right, well, this is something that I haven't talked to you yet, but we're gonna go through. You gave me a list, but we're gonna go through them random. I pulled the lyrics off of every song that you gave me. I'm gonna give. There's nothing more funny than an old white guy rapping or talking about lyrics. A long,
Please do. And listen, give me your interpretation, and then I can kind of break it down, and then like to a degree, I'm no expert. I'm a fan. I'm just a fan. I'm no expert.
Well,
I think it's something that we can learn off of.
We're gonna test your skills because I'm gonna give you like 2 lines and see if you can give me the next 2 lines of all these songs.
Ooh, I like that. I might not blow you away, but I'll try.
Okay. We're going to N.E.R.D, N.E.R.D, which
Run to the Sun.
Run to the Sun. It's from the In Search of 2001. It's the Neptunes. Before we even get into the song, what's your thoughts on it?
All right. So the thing about the song, it's all about the hook. All right. So you gotta understand, being a married man, all that good stuff. My wife had to understand that like it was about the hook. There's a lot of this, Tom, that you're gonna hit me with stuff, and it really had to do with the energy and the beat. And sometimes it's about the lyrics, sometimes it's about the beat. In this one is Run to the Sun and Never Come Back. It's just sometimes when you're young. This came out in what, 2001, you said, Tom?
It is 2001, yeah. It's
early. All right, so I was 19 years old. All right. So it was like, at that age, it was like, you want an escape through music. So and of course, heterosexual man, you want to escape with a woman, So it's like, and Run to the Sun and Never Come Back. It's kind of like leave everything behind. In 19, I didn't really have anything going for me living at home. No, actually, I think I was living on my own. But it was an escape. It was an escape. So let that rock.
All right, here we go with the hook. Let's see how you do. It goes, while you're here, I want to tell you something. It's that I love you, girl. Go.
And never come back.
You got, and I wish we could run to the sun.
Run to the sun and never come back.
The nerds are, it's no one ever really dies. That's what N.E.R.D stands for.
Exactly. No one ever really dies.
They were big. In a weird way, they never really connected to America because they were just a little too off center, which shows their creativity. The Neptunes in general, like, were an amazing team of producers. When their name was on there, you knew you had something good. Teddy Riley signed them, and now Pharrell. Yeah. Pharrell's a vampire where he looks identical to what he looked like back then. He must be stuck on. He must be stuck on.
So that album In Search Of, completely made with producers. Pharrell, before he turned into this empire that he is with Adidas and the Human Made and all that stuff that he's involved in, and the thing that he did with BBC and ice cream, like he's an empire. But when he was here, he was young, hungry, and that Pharrell helped write Rum Shaker by Rex and Effects, telling the Teddy Riley's groups. Out of Virginia. Virginia has a ton of talent. Not only does Virginia stop there, it goes Chris Brown, Timbaland, Missy Elliott. Virginia's got a ton of talent. Michael Jackson used to fly down to Virginia to record at Teddy Riley's house, low key. So like, there's a ton of talent, and Pharrell, man, is he's 101, man. He's super special, and the guy is, into the skincare line now, which is huge, between Rihanna with Fenty and him with his line. I don't know what it is. But that song right there was just, dude, it was emotionally tapping. So when you put that song on and let it play, that song rocks now.
Yeah,
That song doesn't sound dated.
not at all. That's what
That
I'm saying.
Neptune sound, you know that 808, you know that hi-hat.
This is that
You know that foo, foo.
that whole Daisy Age thing where they filled a track with samples, with sounds, with layers. This song is just like that, and it feels good. It feels good. It's very fresh.
It's a feel-good song. Yeah, exactly. To this day, you can put that on.
All right, so we're flipping to a little rock song. The 2008 Grammy Award for Best Song of the Year, Kings of Leon. Use Somebody. Now that's a crack up, because to me, they won't leave this song alone. It's 2008. That's almost 13 years ago. It's the album's called Only by Night. It's their second single, but they play it like it's, you know, it's just a hit still. They won't leave it alone.
Now, Tom, let me ask you something. That's another soundless sound. I gave a lot of timeless music. When that song will be played for generations.
Yes.
And the thing is that I think it taps into a primal thing of sexual energy and the words that resonate with us, that make us just kind of like nod our head, and like you can tap. We've all had that young energy, sexual, women, men, whatever you were into. But me as a young man, that was 2008. That was me in my prime, the year of 2008 up until October. And that whole, my run in 2008 was legendary.
So what I can hear you say, yeah. You're running around in cars and you're going like, I want to use somebody.
I want to use somebody, or somebody use me. You know what I mean? Like that's when you're and at that time when that came out, I'm in the clubs, I'm out at night, I'm single, it's summer, it's Atlantic City, it's Jersey Shore. There's a lot of energy on that track, man. Like, so like when that came out, that was that dude, if you've been drinking all night and that song comes on at 1-2 o'clock in the morning and you're in a dance or you're at a one-on-one and you're having a conversation, that invokes a different spirit right there.
Now,
it really tapped into that.
I was reading about this song, what they think of. I was like, what does this mean? I mean, what I interpret it as use somebody is like to kind of take advantage of their sexuality, enjoy them. But they're saying that it's that you're over that and you're looking for someone that can see past that. Now, I read the lyrics, I don't get that, so I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't pick up on that, but I understand. But they fight like cats and dogs, right? Kings of Leon, they're all related.
They were just in town. They just Cold War kids. They were just here last week in Philadelphia. So
I think they're brothers and cousins.
Yeah, they're all pretty young.
And
they were charged. I was like, how much are they charging tickets for as a headliner? Like $35. So
$35 is a headliner. Where were they?
Yeah, they're in the stadiums. They're in like large venues. So
Kings of Leon is a stadium show.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna say the first line of this song, because basically it says someone like me. I'm ready now. Someone like you. Okay, so I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
Others under sheet. Use somebody. I think that leads right back into the hook, right?
Painted faces till the place I can reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mumbled more of this song more than anything and screamed the hook.
Yeah, you don't have to. This is just the game we're playing. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So the next one is John Mayer hits his second album. Yeah, you got Something Missing, which is interesting.
Heavier Things, man.
Yeah, no, it's Something Missing album. Hold it. Yeah, it is Heavier Things.
No, it's Heavier Things.
Second album, and he was on a roll.
Understand? I have no phone in my hand.
That's
no phone in my hand. You see my hands, right?
Came out 2003. There was 3 big hits off of it: Daughter, Bigger Than My Body, and Clarity. And you went on for a deep album cut.
Right. So you would go Daughters 1, Clarity 2, and Heavier Things, name of the album. Something's Missing is probably the 3 or the 4 track going to. But I've seen this song live at Borgata, Tom. When I tell you that this song hits and resonates with people in a mass, people feel this because something is missing with the majority of us. Maybe some of us have everything. That's cool. but something is missing, and it's especially when he ends this song, when he goes, phone check, guitar check, check, and it's just like the melody of this song is just so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, he was a force to be reckoned with back in. His first album
Absolutely.
was huge.
Yeah.
Second album was huge. The Continuum is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Continuum is one of my favorite albums, but this song right here resonated with me.
That's fine. All right, so let's do this. It's Friends. Check.
Money. Check.
All
Guitar.
Well, hold it. All well. Sleep.
Check.
Opposite sex.
Check.
Guitar.
Check.
Microphone.
Check.
Messages waiting for me when I get home.
Check.
Do all those people like scream it when he plays it?
Oh man, that was the cadence. That was like how he. I mean, I sometimes you have to pre-plan this thing as an artist. I feel like it wasn't pre-planned. I feel like something about that song feels freestyle. I wasn't there. I never fact checked it or anything, but I think John Mayer's talented enough. I'm a big fan of his live album, Live from Los Angeles.
Oh, that trio.
And I know he switched up a lot of. No, that's the John Mayer trio. That's even more amazing. But the Live from Los Angeles album, "Keep Me Where the Light is one of his. That's an amazing piece of work. But John Mayer is cool. The thing is too, he's funny. He's an asshole. He's a great talent. And I think that when he had this album, he was really hitting his stride. And then I think it birthed Continuum, which gave you the monster hits.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Vultures as well.
It's a shame he should have never, got his hands on Taylor Swift. He would probably be equally famous as he was. Just one song and it's over.
She has that Kardashian voodoo.
He needs to just skip off of that Taylor Swift and go to someone else. He could have anyone he wanted. Just stay away from her. But it's funny.
Well, John at one point was out there with his butterfly catcher, plucking them like flowers. He was the hottest thing smoking.
Yeah, he went down. I mean, anything he's doing now is DL because he knows now what press is and what bad press is. But whatever he's doing, we're not aware of it, and that's probably the way it should have been. But it was funny. I was listening to the live Taylor Swift album, and I got into her late. And
how did you get into that?
Well, she was playing Dear John, and I called up my niece Logan, and I said, "Are kids still into Taylor Swift?" This is no joke. And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Do people still? Do people hate John Mayer?" And she goes, "Yeah, they hate him." I said, "Oh, okay." She was in high school at the time, and I was like, I just wanted to see if this song had legs and kind of like, I got into that album at least 10 years after that live album.
Honestly, in your opinion, Tom, I hate to veer off the beaten path. I have never listened to her music. It hasn't captured me. Is there a quality product that I can go listen to that she has?
Okay. So yeah, well, first I was anti-Taylor just because her name and whatever the aura that was going on. I
respect her talent. I don't hate her at all, but I'm just saying, is there one album you recommend?
The Red album is my favorite album. And I think that has some good songs, some intense songs. And I would go from Red and work your way up into the catalog. The other stuff was like Fake Country, where it was like kind of digging into the Dixie Chicks twang, where her heart, she's from Harrisburg. She's from Reading.
Pennsylvania?
She's not a country.
No, that has a country scene. That has a country scene for sure. I mean, Pennsylvania, because of Philadelphia, gives you the city look, but the rest of Pennsylvania is the country.
But I'm just saying, like, the draw and whatever. But she was just playing to the country market and then turned around and she slowly progressed into something else. And
pop, right?
Her last two albums were very singer-songwriter. They're good. I'm very pro Taylor, but it took me a while to get there. So I'm actually pro John Mayer too. I don't really care what he said or what he did.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, he's a as far as I'm concerned, he's a talent. He just had
mega talent.
Just a new album that came out. I was listening to it.
It's an 80s vibe. It's an 80s vibe. He jumped in an 80s bag.
He even
I
had
like it.
the album cover with a nice price logo on it. Like it looked like a
You
like
saw that? Yeah,
yeah,
that was so cool.
yeah.
It's like low key trolling, but it's really really cool. Like he basically lets you know, like as soon as I heard the first single, I said, okay, I know what he's doing.
The,
And John Mayer has the ability to literally release an album. He's like, I don't care if it's successful. Like, this is what I want to do. It's an experiment. And then then I think he will come back to his roots. But right now, if he did like a country-esque album, like the past two, and then he did like sub rock, and like he hasn't been back to heavier things. He hasn't been back to like Your Body Is a Wonderland, because that was like real poppy and him kind of finding himself. Like his most rawest two albums were Continuum. That was him, and the one that Something's Missing is off of. What I say it was Heavier Things.
Heavier Things.
Yeah.
The deal. He's fine. He was playing with Dead and Company and Jersey.
Is that a bull? Is that a Tom? Is that a Bullwear jersey?
That's the Ravens.
That's a Ravens, but I'm saying like was that Bullwear the running back? Because I know Ray Lewis is 52. Who's 55?
It's Stokes. This is 55. You're looking at it wrong. Stokes.
That's what I said, 55. I said Ray Lewis is 52.
No, it's not Lewis. I wore this today because I watched the game last night, and at 33 seconds in, they were ahead. And when I looked at the score just before I started talking to you, they lost that to the Ravens.
Lamar had some major highlights, so that was crazy.
It was.
He's amazing talent. Amazing talent.
It was Oakland. No,
it's week one, baby. It's week one.
Yeah, they're hung in there. Okay, we're into Incubus. Mm-hmm. Incubus, Just the Fades. Now this is this is from Morning View 2001.
Their best album.
Yeah, you have a whole bunch of hits on this, but you didn't pick one. Wish You Were Here. Nice to Know You.
I didn't want to.
That's all right. So this is a good album. This was their biggest selling album, and
that's why I said it's their best album.
This lyrics is awesome. Let me hit it before you talk about it. I'm going to give you one line. Call it woman's intuition, but I think I'm on to it. Go ahead.
I don't know, because I can't hear it, so it's not.
I know, because
it's not triggering. It's not triggering the memory base.
It's Something's Here, temporary at its black plague, and the Jesus of our age. It's basically just a phase. They're saying that someone sucks, and they're in the music industry, and they're gonna go away. I hope they're not talking about Taylor Swift.
I think she was probably maybe 10 years old when this album came out.
2001. So
2001. All right. So I was living on my own, living by myself, and it's the humming on the hook. And he kind of goes, oh, and it was kind of like more like the guitar riff in the background and the beat, and just a phase, and kind of like whatever I was going through at the time, it resonated with. I don't know what it was in 2001. It could have been relationship. It could have been the kind of life I was living. But whatever it was at the time, I still listen to this day, because I just appreciate what it did for me at the time. I think at the time when you're 19 and you're on your own, you're very vulnerable, and I don't lean on people as my therapy. I leaned on music. And at this point, the music was my therapy. And I listen to this every day, like on a CD Walkman. I'm dating myself once again.
The song still sounds fresh today. The band is fresh. What they were a part of is modern rock radio, which doesn't exist. So they were a regular staple. Incubus had multiple platforms. They were rock. They were playing on the rock radio. They were playing on modern rock radio, and those two formats gave them a really big chunk of people who are really digging their music, and they were creative. So they were just kind of creating interesting sounds within the songs.
Well, down here in South Jersey, there's a station 102.7. They played Howard Stern in the morning and alternative rock, and it was literally. So what happened was, I was working for a company as an electrician, and it was the only station that came in clear. So I'll listen to Howard Stern in the morning. In the year 2001, which is also remembered 20 years of 9/11, like that's where I heard like when Howard Stern's broadcast of 9/11, like that was all in that area. So who knows what was going on at that time emotionally with me because of where the country was. We had just been attacked. Howard Stern was probably at the peak of everything and his influence. So I listened in the morning and they would definitely play this track. They would definitely play this band, my apologies, which made me buy the album, the CD, and listen to that on the way into work. And I would listen to that whole album front to back, because if you skipped, it would waste more battery. So you would that was the thing that made you appreciate albums, because like today you could just skip something if you didn't want to. Like me, I come from the generation of like I didn't really skip or fast forward, because you would turn the volume down if you didn't like a song, and you would just bring it back up when your song came on. Yeah. So we would save on battery because we were broke. So that's the difference.
There's batteries. I watched what is it, the Spike Lee movie? God, the one with the pizzeria.
You're talking about Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, and he has that jam box. I'm like, those batteries, man, cost more than that jam box.
Those D batteries, dude, man. You had to fill that thing up with like 12 D batteries.
Yeah,
you know?
And it lasts for a half hour.
If you crank it all the way up, yeah, for sure.
All right, we're up to DMX, which is it sounds like you're not doing too well on these songs. It's called Slippin.
No. So Tom, this is what I was thinking about last night. Like, okay, I am not like severely depressed at this age. It's just that you're on your own, you're independent, and it does resonate with just. I never had, wasn't in like therapy or anything.
No, I'm talking about
this. Came out.
I'm talking about these lyrics. Like I'm giving you lyrics and you're not giving me the next line.
I'm terrible. Yeah. Now I'll start picking up.
I've been through mad different phases to find my way back, and now I know that happier days are not far away.
Hoping I live long enough to see my kids.
Yeah.
Doing something more constructive with their time than bids. Yes. Yeah. See, I'm picking up now. So okay, so when Slippin came out, Tom, it was like, oh shit, a rapper is letting us in, and like DMX was from the first album, is Dark and Hell is Hot was cool. When Flesh of My Flesh and Blood of My Blood came out within that same calendar year, you were blown away. You weren't used to getting this much material from an artist, which is now very common to get multiple material from a major artist. I mean, DMX was selling 5 million copies, which is unheard of. Unheard of. And he was not, and God rest his soul, man. He was a rock star, which is hard to get that crown of atonement. He was different. It's Dark and Hell's Hot came out, was crazy. But by the time this album came out, the momentum had built up so crazy from Get At Me Dog and his other hits to this, to have the commercial appeal. And the thing was that he did that a lot of rappers weren't doing. He resonated with young white fans. And once what's the festival that happened in '99 that they did the special for it with
Woodstock.
Once he did Woodstock '99, and you saw that sea of people knowing it lyric for lyric, word for word, in an era where you had to buy the fucking music, dude, he has solidified himself forever.
That right there.
He was up there in that red. He was up there in that red jumpsuit. At that point I was already a fan, but when he dropped Slippin' and he let you into how bad it was for him at a young age, and he was up there with Boomer, and Boomer was his dog that he had tatted on his back. From that point forward, I was a fan forever. And God rest his soul.
Live Aid back in 1985 was Queen's thing. Like Queen killed it, and they're always known of killing it on Live Aid. It was also a comeback. They weren't doing that well, but with the DMX in 1999 for Woodstock, that was his defining moment. That was why. That was
his defining moment. Absolutely, yes, it was. Let me tell you something. His defining moment was definitely, you get your cosign coming out of your neighborhood, the hood. Like, he was already co-signed from the beginning, but that right there was his major breakout, where it was like, holy shit, this guy's a movement. This guy, when you transition from an artist to an energy, then it's different. There's artists that are, this is my logic. Like it's only very few artists, no matter what genre, are an energy. You got the Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Jay-Z, Ye, DMX, that are forever an energy. It doesn't matter what you're putting out now. It's what you put out at that time that stamped something on people's like imprint that you'll forever be successful. You know, it's hard to fall off when you've made that good of music. And DMX, in my heart, in my soul, I'll forever live through. He'll forever live through these lyrics, through these beats, through this sound that he made naturally. You know, that was something that he did with like probably little to no effort. When you're telling, it's little to no effort when you're telling your story. The only thing you have to fight through is the pain.
Okay, so just for the people, we're about halfway on our journey here on his songs. Just say, don't hang up the phone. Don't stop watching. We're getting some deeper stuff here. Not that like DMX isn't deep, but we got Black Star, which is a rarity, 1998, Respiration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to do a lyric? Do you think you got it?
Well, the biggest thing about that thing is the intro. When they're talking to bombers, and bombers were the people that would spray paint the chains, and the kid basically breaks it down. And I wish I had it playing in the background. And he says, "All you see is," and I don't want to give too many away. I want people to go to this music, but Black Star's whole album is you're talking about Talib Kweli and Mos Def teaming up to make this album, which was humongous in the rap community, which at that time was fortified in lyricism. And not only to come in with beats made by all the people from Raucous Records and High Tech and Primo and people that had like their hands on this project. And Mos Def, before he made Black on Both Sides, and Talib Kweli to team up on this was crazy, man. I mean, this Respiration was, in my opinion, probably just mine. I know the whole album's dope from start to finish. There's no skips on this album. So I just think it was two of the greatest lyricists teaming up to make one of the greatest albums of all time. If this is not in your top 20, you're not a hip hop fan.
This is also had Common on it, and the Roots were doing remixes.
The Roots, the Soulquarians, all that, yeah.
Okay, so we're at 808, a Heartbreak.
808s and Heartbreaks. Yeah.
What's your thoughts of that album? Some people love it and some people hate it.
I loved what Kanye did with, you know, of course, his dedication to 808s. It was totally built in a breakup, and it was totally built. Kanye's all his best albums were basically made off of breakups, based around women, based around his emotions, and I think he tapped into all our male and female, whatever you choose. But at the time, as a male, as a young male, our vulnerability. And at that time, I was going through something. and honestly, I'm saying like this: the woman that I'm with now, I totally fucked up in the beginning, and this song dropped right at a point right where I messed up, and thank God I was able to get her back.
Oh, that was one of your wedding songs, huh?
No, would not play that
after wedding, party. What do you think of his new album,
Donda? It's really weird. I mean, you think you name an album after your mother, and it really doesn't. I don't know if Donda is the energy behind the production or Donda is the dedication of the album. It's to be in this gospel lane.
It's more of a psychological thing where, you know, he needs to be on some kind of medication. So you're looking at it as, okay, what is he saying? Is this a Syd Barrett kind of vibe where he's a little in left field on his thoughts, and what's coming out? It really needed a major editing. You know, someone needed to go through it like a George Martin from the Beatles and say, look, I'm going to redo this whole thing. You put the raw material out. Let me clean this up, because that's what I think it's missing.
Well, here's the thing about Donda. Besides the name, it was a living album. When he first did his first show in Atlanta, it was completely like scraps. The second show, he brushed it up. The third show in Chicago, amazing roll. The best rollout of any album in musical history. Let's just file it under that. The rollout? Are you serious, Tom? Like, who has a better rollout than that? Stadiums? It's Tom. He sold out a stadium in Atlanta with an unfinished product. Literally screaming to Mike Dean, caught on camera, screaming at Mike Dean about things that he didn't like. He's a complete psycho, but I appreciate his psycho because he pushes other people.
People wanted to be there because it was a tragic thing. It's like watching the Sex Pistols. Johnny Rotten's gonna die. You just want to be at that show where he dies.
Right.
Kanye's fucked up. You just
one of those
there.
moments. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix lighting the guitar on stage. It was a moment in music history. Yeah.
So the deal is, you picked Heartless, and that's the song you're talking about. This to me is a pure perfect song, but I'm gonna blow your mind in a weird way. There's the winner of American Idol that year was, oh shit, what was his name?
Was it Teddy? No. That kid. What was his last name?
Is his name Chris? It's anyways, can't remember. I can probably look it up while we're talking.
Okay.
He's
it wasn't I'm sorry for 2004. Who the hell was that? The black dude, Heavy Set. It wasn't him.
Chris Allen.
Chris Allen. Jesus Christ, Chris Allen.
Yeah. So I know. That's how random. The Chris Allen version of this is I like better than the original Kanye West one.
Oh wait. I'm sorry. Of Heartless.
Heartless. The song's perfect.
All right. That's what we differ. We differ. But it's cool. I respect that. But have you honestly listened to Heartless by Kanye West? I mean,
I'm billing it 5 out of 5. I think it's a genius song. It's written really well.
It is.
I think that the production value of this song compared to the other one, I know when I disc jockeyed, at a bar, I'd have to do the Chris Allen one because everyone knew it, not just people who like rap, but you can understand the words a little better. And it was I think it was a #1 hit from him. So
well, I mean, listen, you as a disc jockey, there's no better feeling in the world when you drop a song and you hear, oh, and then you see people word for word singing that song. That's what lives with you. And you're like, okay, I can always drop that and it'll resonate with the crowd.
Yeah, so that would be my go-to before I'd go to the Kanye version. Well, and then here we go off into someone that I totally love this album. Coming Where I'm From is 2003. The first time I saw Anthony Hamilton, he opened up for Gerald Levert. He blew people away with his energy. It was from this album. He went into the audience and people were just, his voice is amazing. It's his material through the years. I'm on his fan club, so his is solid, and no one sounds like him. But the song that you picked, it's not Charlene. It's not the single Coming From Where I'm From.
I was just about to say, hey man, you know about Charlene, right? Man,
I'm a mess.
I'm a mess right now. Hey, listen, man, as a man of and been in my fair share of relationships, nothing crazy, but I think if you've broken, I don't care when this song came out, if you've broken up with a man, someone at some point in time, you had that you were really in love with, or say that person left you, or you messed up and you didn't do the right thing, and you kind of have that thing. You can't eat, can't sleep, bills are piling high. I mean, he exaggerated on some things that I wasn't going through, but it just tapped into something. It tapped into something real. And I think that anyone who has been broken up with, if you've been not the breakup you've been a victim of the breakup, and someone says, I'm done with this, and you've been left, I think you can resonate with this song. I think, honestly, people will find this song every single year, every single month of every single month of every single year from here to the end of time, and tap into that song. I think you will forever be successful off this song because someone somewhere along the way has broken up with somebody or been the person that got left.
All right, so I agree. This is I broke up with everyone except the last person, right? And I got broken up on. And the thing is that when you break up with
the song, man.
When you break up with someone, you're prepared. Like you've already
gone through it. Yeah.
But when you get broken up and you don't see it coming, you're
Yeah.
like hit hard with it, like a stop sign, and you're in the head.
You're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, and it's rough. And then you're like, is there any room for, you work this out? And it's always no. And you're like, now what do you?
Well, they
So,
have their mind set that they're leaving you.
yeah, there was a reason. So this is considered neo soul, which I think isn't. I don't know, that genre came and went. What I think is this is
Yeah.
classic R&B that holds on, like it's melodic and there's great instrumentation behind it. The voice is the star of the song. They call it neo soul only because it came out during that time period. But I think this
Right.
album is a classic album. Even the album cover has that vintage Donny Hathaway early 70s vibe. I'm digging it. Everyone should listen to that. So I'm not a big Eminem fan. I really am not, but I do like this song. I don't know why this wasn't a single, because it's amazing. Brain Damage. It's from the Slim Shady album. It's total. If it was released as a single, it would have been probably in the top 10. It's a great story.
It's huge among Eminem fans if you're an Eminem fan. And the reason it's huge is if you've ever been bullied. Reason being is because, when I was younger, being the only person of color in a majority all white school, it tapped into that coming from a white artist. I don't know where it matches up. Within the brain waves of brain, signals. But man, this song, I was just listening to the album when it first came out. I don't think when Eminem dropped this album, I don't think he was the hottest thing out. I think I was ready for this album because he had an album prior to that I was aware of, but really didn't know. I didn't have. But when this song Brain Damage came out, it was like, oh man. If you've been bullied, and I was bullied, this taps in with you. And especially in that era when it came out. And I don't think that, as crazy as Eminem was, as crazy as all the stuff he was saying, he didn't know how much, I hope he knows how much this helped people like me that went through something like that can kind of let a little something out and just be like, you weren't alone. You weren't the only one.
What's crazy about this song, it's a great story, and it actually, while it's 20 years old, it's still kind of hot. It's a hot song. I see that.
It's funny too.
I don't know why they skipped over it, because he was so hot. He could put out any single, he'd be fine. But
oh yeah,
the song is an embellishment of a janitor who picked on him. The gentleman is D'Angelo Bailey. He's a janitor.
D'Angelo Bailey.
Yeah,
this fat kid named D'Angelo Bailey.
Yeah, that he changed it as it's really the janitor of his school that picked on him. So Bailey sued him for $1 million for slander and invasion of privacy, and then went on a radio show and said, yeah, I did bully him, and admitted that he did. So that lawsuit was dropped. I feel bad for Eminem, because his mom also filed a $10 million lawsuit, and,
oh my God.
and she got pennies, like 25,000 on it. And a 70-year-old widow filed for something. She didn't get anything either.
I'm sorry, Eminem's got it. Believe me, you ain't here for a dime.
When you have, like, you're living your life and you don't have any money around you, and you blow up to that level, people come out of the woodwork and say, I want a piece of that. So
especially your immediate.
Yeah, that's a shame it's your mom. But the deal is, great song, great choice. I respect it. I'm totally into it. So
thanks, bud.
We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 8 more to go, guys. We are into the Nas world. So we are, or Nas, Street Dreams. Do you want to do a sample? It was from they did sample the song Sweet Dreams from Eurythmics. They sampled Linda Clifford, Never Gonna Stop. They sampled the Isley Brothers, Choosy Lover, and Marvin Gaye's Mercy Mercy Me was also sampled.
Wow.
This is the time, like, where I was into it. This is my time period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you know, I
This
respect
is
respect the fact that you went back and created an amazing song like Street Dreams with um all these samples and kind of got really
yeah,
good with it.
yeah. So Street Dreams was from what Nas was saying, growing up, Project Stuck, living for luck, dreaming. Like it was before I start, I don't want to use the curse words, but it was inspirational. And Nas would rap from the aspect of I'm not the hustler. I'm the kid on the corner that knew the hustlers, was related to them and the killers, and would tell the aspect of viewing it, not being the person that did the crime or did the bad stuff, but he would kind of like, it was like this, he tapped into so many people that weren't the bad guys,
Uh,
that were the people that viewed it and were very close to the bad guys. Because the thing about living in the inner city is like, yeah, you can talk all that gangster shit you want, but 90% of the time, you're not the gangster.
no.
Those guys die or go to jail or have a, or try to get out of that life. And Nas gave it to you from a perspective of witnessing it. And that was me. I witnessed it. I wasn't out there doing all that stuff. I witnessed. I knew the bad guys. I knew the guys that were doing crazy stuff. But like Nas, man, when he dropped Street Dreams, it was so inspirational. Just the lyrics, because a part of you grow up in that hood. You sometimes you look to the hustlers, like, okay, that's the way to get out. But then you look at you look at the other route, like, okay, maybe I can get out of here via education or sports. And Nas walked that thin line, and man, he was just a great author of if you're a kid from the hood, and that's anybody. You don't necessarily have to be black, white, Spanish. Everybody not a majority of more people, in my opinion, come from underprivileged, and I think he spoke to all that. And even if you were privileged, it was a way to even tap into the hood and get that authentic feel. And
Nas,
Street Dreams,
his dad was Uladara. He's a
Oludara, yeah,
jazz musician.
in
So
the
his
Navy, yeah,
dad was gone a lot, but they did have access to a lot of art and
books.
he had knowledge and books and creative people around. What Nas does is his lyrics can be written as poetry, and they're not just like a haiku kind of thing. They're very deep.
Mm-hmm.
They're very intense. They could be read as a novel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he is amazing. So you add
Yeah,
the
he is.
you add the samples, and then you add the intenseness of the lyrics, and he's one of my favorite artists of
Good.
yeah.
He
Here we
should
go.
be. He should be.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I went back. They had the 20th anniversary of Illmatic. Illmatic. Uh, I I always say Illmatic. I don't know why, and because of Philip.
Illmatic.
Yeah,
Nas.
yeah.
Illmatic. Yeah.
But I did that for an interview, and then I had to go back and clean it up. Because I said, "Oh, I can't believe I said that."
Well,
I said,
earlier you said Nas, so I was
"Oh,
just
I know."
going.
And then I changed it to Nas, Nas or Nas. Uh,
Nas.
so okay, One Love is from the first album. It's a
Mm-hmm.
Q-Tip
Produced by
production.
Q-Tip.
Amazing
Mm-hmm.
lyrics on this one too.
Mm-hmm.
Samples from the Heath brothers, Smiling and Billy Sweet from 1975, and Parliament, Coming In and Out of the Rain, 1970. It's a 3-part letter to friends in jail. And then One Love is a thing with like Bob Marley, like it's a comparison. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a Caribbean feel, just a hint of it to
Where
represent
you hear that xylophone or
yeah,
that steel drum.
yeah, which
And that's what fueled the song.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Totally takes it to like it's that touch that you're like, oh, if it didn't
Yeah.
have it, it wouldn't be as hot. And it
Not
makes
at all. Not at all.
yeah,
I think that is a song that is a pairing of two things. Not only does Nas bring lyricism right into his guys in jail, and that's really cool, right? To get the perspective of that, and that's where Nas's writing skills came into perspective. Because there's other songs like "I Gave You Power," where he describes him being a gun. There's other songs where he writes in reverse, like the bullet goes back into the gun, the broken Heineken bottle comes back into the homeless guy's hand. Like this is where Nas's superpowers come into tap. Then you tap into somebody like Q-Tip, and he gets that beat, and it's just And then you kind of hear Q-Tip in the back, one what? One love, one love. And that's what you would say, oh, one love, you know, like in the hood, like, or anywhere. I don't just say in the hood, but like that song is just so creative. Two major creative geniuses coming together on one track, and that's what you get. That's the baby of it.
Jay-Z, Cashmere Thoughts, first album from Reasonable Doubt. It's another, well, like someone said to me, oh, Jay-Z just goes in the studio and just does his freestyle. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Oh, it's possible.
That you can come out with 18 karat gold pen when it hits the sheets, words worth a million, like I'm rapping them through platinum teeth. I got the Grey Poupon. You've been warned because all my beef runs well. Done filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
You can't just do that. Like that is some brain. Like if he does
They
that,
can.
Well, if he does that,
no. I'm sorry. Jay-Z said that he wrote this first album. He wrote on this first album.
Because
in the rest, then he taps into the Rain Man thing where he mumbles and then he comes out, he punches, and then he mumbles and then he punches. The only person that we will speak about later is Notorious Big. And you can look at the documentary, DJ Premier literally is in the studio, and we'll talk about that later, but about Notorious Big. But Jay obviously took a plate out of Big's book and was like, I can do that. And Jay can. He can go in there one take and just give you a freestyle, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow. Check it out. Ghettos, Errol Flynn, Hot Like Heroin. I'm like, this is great stuff.
So keep rapping, Tom. I like when you rap.
I know. That's what I said. The funniest thing is, okay, a long time ago on regular TV, there was a guy who did the Tonight Show. He was one of the original guys. And he came out and did the words for Bad Girls by Donna Summer. I remember it as a little kid. And he was so white and corny when he said it that I was like, it's funny. It's funny when old guys like try to do some rap stuff. I know, Jay-Z. I know. Everything you like, everything you love, everything you like, everything you love. Talk about it. American Gangster.
Oh, what you said? Oh, the American Gangster album. So that was Jay-Z transporting himself to a time in the 70s where the heroin was overflowing. And I know where he basically talks about himself being the drug. And that was just super dope to be that creative. To basically talk about, you take it in vain. And him to turn himself into the product Blue Magic. That's what he was describing. So if you go back to that song and listen to it, understand that Jay-Z is coming from the perspective if the drug heroin could rap. Like that's what you have to do to your brain. Like you have to understand that he has now made himself the product, which is, to me, honestly, I think that was out of Nas's playbook. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
It's very commercial sounding too. It sounds very commercial, like he was going for a radio hit.
Well, who produced it? Pharrell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's the Neptune's beat. That dry high 808, and then you hear the keys that are going on that. That's all the Neptune sound.
It's such a weird contradiction between the lyrics and what's going on, and it makes it sound like it's a love relationship, but it's heroin like talking to you.
No, it's heroin talking. Saying you need me.
Multiple levels.
Yeah.
We're on to Nipsey Hussle with Victory Lap.
Oh man. Yeah. So now, Victory Lap, Nipsey's album was completely like 100%. Okay, you know how that dude, what's that dude does the inspirational talks? Tony something? Imagine if Robbins. Tony Robbins and Jay-Z had a love child, it would be Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle to me was like this West Coast cat who came up, grinded, released this album called Crenshaw. I think he had 100 or 1,000 copies, and he sold physical copies for $100. He said, I will sell you this album for $100. Just created this crazy demand. So people like Jay-Z would tweet about it, be like, I got Nipsey Hussle's $100 album. It costs $100 to buy this album. Long before NFT, all that stuff. This is what Nipsey did. And Nipsey, honestly, was like, if you thought of the word hustle, you thought of Nipsey. So, of course, he made it his last name. But man, when he talks and he raps, Every single line was like inspirational or something for you to do. He made, honestly, the Mexico, Tulum, Mexico, owes all their popularity within a certain community to Nipsey Hussle, because he was talking about Tulum 5, 6 years ago. So Tulum has blown up since then. That's the power of the hip hop dollar, right? And like he was talking, he filmed, he was like, in Tulum, just to smoke, something at the Mayan ruin, something at the Mayan ruins. Like they're like, what, hold on, at a Mayan ruin, I want to do that. So this song, his album Victory Lap, was completely from start to finish inspirational. And the 2 tracks I gave you are off Victory Hustle, and they just completely encompass, inspiration and things to do. If you're down on yourself or anything, you're downtrodden, this whole album will lift you up.
Yep. So it's first like legit album. He won a Grammy in 2019. It is star-studded. Everyone wanted to be on this album. You got Kendrick Lamar, you got The Dream, CeeLo. The producers that were on every single track is Mike and Keys, Money Mike and JJ Keys.
Yep.
That's what I was saying. Like, this is a loaded album. Like, this is
loaded.
This was an event when it came out. Like, this is something that like the next Kendrick Lamar album is going to be an event. This is an event. This album that came out. You got another song that on this album, and I kind of, the West Coast thing when you said it, that makes a lot more sense, because I'm saying, okay, it kind of, the draw is like Snoop Dogg,
right?
But it's not. And that's where, okay,
right,
that it's West Coast. Real Big is, I think, one of the last songs on the album. It's definitely an inspirational song. Talk about that one.
I think it's more about the. It had these breakdowns, especially towards the last minute of the song, where it's basically just melody, and it kind of like leaves you on this long note of like, hey, we're not leaving you, but we'll be back. And it's kind of like, you do not skip it. You don't turn it off, and you just let it. Like if you were parked and you're about to walk into the job, you would just let this play and just, and you would just basically, it would be your motivation to push you into your job and make you do something. And just, real big. You want to do it real big wherever you go. You want to do it real big no matter what line of work you're in. You listen to this album, is absolutely motivating, because it's especially from people that come from nothing. When you know someone's story and you hear something like this and they're like, hey, I've been there, I've been grinding, I've been unappreciated, I've been not valued, I've been passed over. And that's what this album did with me. It tapped in to that, and the song is just incredible. And with Marsha Ambrosia, beautiful voice singing on the hook from her, I forget what the duo she was in. Flowetry she was in.
Yeah.
Hit song, yeah, shout out to that. But like she's just beautiful. She can sing, man. She can bring the house down.
I make this joke that I just want to be in a rap band and I want to stand beside Rick Ross. I'm gonna wear a suit, right? And I stand up to the microphone before each song and go, Mayback music. And then I step back, and that's all I do.
That's cool. That's cool. Ross will probably let you do it too.
Yeah, I totally want to do that. That girl does it, but there's no reason why I can't do it. That's all I do is I just stand there, I walk up and say Mayback music, then I step back and I just stand there.
People will love it. People will love the production value of that. Like, who's this dude?
Okay, so Mayback music has many variations with different
1 through 6.
Yeah, we're playing with 4. That's the one that you picked.
I want to go on the one you sent me too.
So Mayback,
2. I think it was the way life works out perfect. So I like 4, but let's talk about 2. So 2 has Ross, Lil Wayne, and Kanye all in their prime,
and John
Legend.
Right?
Kanye and John Legend, of course, who's on a couple of them. And Maybach music, you look for when Rick Ross drops an album, it's an official album if it has a Maybach music. The next one will be Maybach Music 7. And they're always grandiose, major opulence. There's a lot of, he doesn't just start rapping immediately. It's a slow build. It's either piano or trumpets or horns. And the way this thing builds is crazy. And Kanye is on there rapping crazy. Like right before he lost all his mind, and he was still a good lyricist, and love Kanye to death. Eating all his, he's crazy as a bag of cats. this right here, he was rapping. Wayne was rapping. Ross was killing it. Ross always brings on these top artists onto these Maybach musics and holds his own, if not one of the top I think it's just top lyricism. Every time you see a Maybach music, 1 through 6, soon to be 7, it's great lyricism, great production. It's something that you can honestly look forward to as a rap fan. And Ross has been putting out incredible projects.
It's kind of hard to be older, Rick Ross, and live in that Coming to America house part 2. And
that's his house.
Yeah, it is his house, but it's an amazing house, and that's not his only house. And we're gonna talk about street stuff. It's just the little disconnect. I could see why people would have wouldn't buy it, but I don't care.
Well, I mean, that's cool because I mean, honestly, I think Rick Ross is appealing to his fans like myself that tapped in long before he bought Evander Holyfield's house, because we're the reason he was able to buy that house. But you also have to give kudos to him making good business decisions and not investing him all in jewelry and cars. And he has checkers and, you know, cannabis companies and insurance companies. And like Rick Ross isn't eating off rap. Rick Ross is eating off other things that we consume as you might be buying a Rick Ross product and not even know it. And that's the way to go about it. And that's probably, once you get your money, you have to make your money make you money without being tapped into something just as an album. You can't really just have an album nowadays with streaming. You have to have businesses. And that's one thing about the boss Rick Ross that I appreciate.
What, did he have wings and then he's trying to push thighs? Is that him?
Well, remember, there was a wing shortage. It was a chicken wing shortage. So we were all sitting home in the pandemic ordering out. We ate up all the chicken wings. It wasn't enough chicken wings. So they had a ton of thighs. So we started selling thighs. Yeah. And he's killing it. And shout out to him for doing that. And that's exactly what Rick Ross has always been. He says, yo, I'm a hustler. I'm going to find a way to make this money.
Yo, we got wings. We don't have wings. We got
thighs.
We got thighs.
We got thighs. He got come on, man. He had damn near a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Shout out to Rick Ross, man. Like, you know, finding a way in a pandemic to make some money. If you made money in this pandemic, you're a hustler.
Yeah. All right, we're not. We only have one left, and it's Notorious B.I.G.
The King.
And the song, I was playing around with it. I finally found it right before we had our conversation. It was Everyday Struggle. I have this album. I just haven't. I mean, believe it or not, I just haven't played it. I had the 10 years.
Don't say that, Tom. Don't ever
recently
say that.
Recently.
Okay, I had a good way to clean that up. All right, cool.
The 10-year. I had the at 10 years. I had the 10-year anniversary one. With the extended tracks on it, but I really, you know, with the physical CD decline, I haven't really listened to it for a while. So
well, you need to put that on one night and just let it rock out.
Yep. Yeah, I like Notorious B.I.G. I love this album. It's a great album. What's it mean to you?
One of the best of all time. It means everything to me. So I was 14 years old. I'll wrap up with. I know we're getting towards the end. 14 years old, completely impressionable. The most powerful thing in this world is influence, right? If you have the power of influence. So there were 2 albums. I had probably $30 in my pocket. I walked up to Rainbow Records in Atlantic City on Atlantic Ave. And I went to Rainbow Records and I wanted 2 albums. I wanted Ready to Die by the Notorious Big, and I wanted Cal by Method Man. I bought them, brought them back home, put my headphones on. I had no battery, so I had to plug in a DC cord into my CD player. And I sat in my room at my desk where I do my homework, and I pressed play. And the story started to unfold of Ready to Die. And it basically told the story of this kid that was born to, you getting yelled at and screamed at, to robbing people in the train, to becoming this hustler, doing what he had to do to put food on the table because he had a daughter. And all of a sudden, I fell in love with this album made by the Notorious B.I.G. And he became my favorite artist to this day. And I miss him dearly. And from Big Papa to Unbelievable to this album that had 0 skips, that meant the world to me, because it did something, man. It did something that tapped into my spirit. I was just 14. I wasn't doing anything crazy. But this guy spoke to me, and then Life After Death came out, and those are the only two albums by Big that I really tapped into. I know he had some posthumous things that Puffy produced, and all these other Junior Mafia that birthed from his lineage and history. But to this day, the number one rapper in my world, in my mind, is Notorious B.I.G. And he had the most powerful product, the most powerful album, the most powerful sound and voice and cadence and lyricism. And to this day, no one on planet Earth can mess with this flow. His flow, his lyricism, his rhyme skill is unmatched.
How about I got my homies on the Amtrak with crack in the crack of her ass. 10 pounds of hash.
In the stash.
Wait for her to make some cash.
Told her she could be lieutenant. She got gas. Literally a lounge in black, sitting back, counting double-digit thousands stacks. Yeah, I can go on and on.
I see what's up with my peeps.
What's up with my peeps. Toyota dealer cars had it cheap on the Jeeps. See, the last rumors was spread. Unless I heard I was dead, 6 to the head. Like it was crazy, man. Like it was, man. There's no one that has done that to this day. Nobody, and everybody gives it up to Big. All the greats. This album right here is a problem. Don't ever get it confused. And then if you listen to "The Sky's the Limit" off of Big's second album, you'll cry. You'll cry if you're a real fan, and it hits you right.
While we were talking, I looked it up. Steve Allen was a really, really old guy who was the host of the Tonight Show, and he's the one that read the Bad Girls song from Donna Summer, and it was so corny that this old white guy was doing it that it was funny, and it was in my head. It was probably, I don't know, like 1979, 1980 in my head that this happened. So I was like, I can't wait to rap with you today, because the worst thing you want to see, it's like watching an old white guy dancing. Both of them are really funny. Watching them rap or dance, it's just, it's hysterical. So I acknowledge it. There's videos out there of me dancing that I don't really have shame, but the people who watch it think it's funny. I have one other question for you, Karlos. You're the third. Do you have a fourth? Are you keeping that lit?
Yeah. My son, man. I'm gonna get him off the bus in about an hour and a half. The fourth. He is a avid video game player. He's actually one of the probably for his age bracket, he's pretty damn good in Fortnite, and he loves Grand Theft Auto. He's a gamer. You know, he's a slim kid. He is I think he's a Scorpio, November 20th. He's crazy as all hell and love him to death. And he's a complete opposite of me. And we bump heads, but that's my guy. And I think that I hope that he has that love for music I do. I always hear him singing and rapping, which I am so proud to hear. He makes my day. My daughter, who is 11, she's a Pisces. She's just like my father, emotional wreck. But she's a fan of her music, and this whole family. I'm very blessed to say that we love music, and
it's good to have brothers.
You're talking to a family loving. A music that loves a family that loves music. So that's what you're getting with me and my family. Yeah, but the fourth is there. Today is the first, like I said before, 89th birthday. God bless him. We're very lucky to have him see his 89th. He's 50 years older than me.
Wow. So it's Karlos LaSane, the third. We did it. We went through scratch the surface of.
You just scratched the surface
of some of your favorite songs. We went into it.
Yeah.
We see each other. People don't realize, but we're coworkers also. So it was great to sit down and do this. We wanted to do it for a good couple months. So we had the opportunity today to sit down and knock this out.
For sure.
You got the Black Thought video. It's going to be linked in.
So hold on. So real quick before we wrap this up, that like I said, that Black video, that is definitely the precipice. And when it comes to hip hop lyricism, what it takes when it comes to a freestyle, that is the one spot. And anytime, I can't thank you enough for doing this with me. Can we do it again? Can we do a part 2?
Well, yeah. Give me some new songs, new albums. We always have opportunity to talk.
I have a Rolodex full. Let's do it again.
All right. It sounds good. All right, we're signing off, everyone. Thank you very much. It's Something Came from Baltimore. You can
Something
subscribe.
came from Baltimore.
Yeah, we are everywhere now. We're on Amazon, which is something kind of new. And you know, we are going into season 6. We're almost done with The Beatles Come to
Hey.
America. Things are happening, and we just want you to be a part of it so you don't miss out. All right, we are signing off today.